Yes, people, Ricky here from Behind the Bars TV. Hope you're all fit and well. As usual, I would just like to thank all my loyal subscribers and all my new ones because the count's going up very good. I'm nearly at the 10,000 mark. But today I'm going to talk about one of Scotland's most notorious prisoners. This is someone that I haven't actually heard of before, but one of my Scottish subscribers sent us an email and asked us if I could do a video on this fella. So I've just got a few things jotted down here just so I don't forget anything. So the fella I'm talking about today is called James O'Rourke, also known as Porky. He's 52 years old and he's been in prison since 1992, which is 30 years. So he got lifed off for murder in 1992 for killing somebody in Airdrie. And he'd been in prison for about, I think it was 5 years. So in 1997, he's held a screw hostage and a nurse, and he got an additional 6 years on top of his sentence. But this latest murder happened in HMP Glenochil. And HMP Glenochil is a high, medium and low secure prison. So it houses all three types of prisoners. Because up in Scotland, like, they've just got low, medium and high, where in England, you've got category A, B, C and D. So it's a little bit different up in Scotland. But Glenochil opened in 1966 as a detention centre. Then it went on to be a young offenders centre, prison. And then in the 1980s, it became a long-term prison. So this was just for lifers and long-termers. Then in 2007, it became a mixed term prison. And it holds up to 670 male prisoners. So, and this is where the latest murder happened. And the lad that he killed was Dean Ramsey, 30-year-old. He was referred to as a quiet inmate, kept his solitary cell. But he must have had an altercation with Porky, James O'Rourke. I'll just refer to him as Porky, because that's what he's probably known as up in the Scottish prison system. So he's had an altercation with Porky, and on the morning of the murder, it was 10 to 11 in the morning. Ramsey was in his cell, all by himself, and Porky's went into his pad. He's been seen walking into his cell, and 10 minutes later, he's seen coming back out. And he went up to one of the screws and said, "I've just hurt somebody and I think I've killed him." So when the screws went in, they found him tied up. He's had his hands tied together. And he's had a ligature around his neck. And he strangled him to death, choked him to death. And he was heard to say when he went out the pad, "Just because I'm old, he thinks I'm a dafty. Well, it's cost him his life." And that was the words he said to one of the other prisoners. So in his mind, he must be thinking that he's been dissed off this Ramsey, who's only 30, like he's nearly half his age. But in prisons, fair enough, you have a bit back and forth with each other. If something happens, you get an altercation or someone disses you, maybe you can have a bit of a fight, or you go and batter them or whatever. Or if you've dissed someone, if someone comes and batters you, that's just what happens in prison. But for him to go into a pad and actually murder somebody just for dissing them, just because he feels belittled of him, it's just you cannot justify doing that, you know what I mean? Going into a pad murdering someone. I mean, he's a 30-year-old lad, he's got the rest of his life ahead of him. And he's went in just for the sake of being dissed and saying he thinks I'm a dafty, so I'll just do that to him. But he's also, after that, he went on the phone to his mum, talking to his mum back home, and he says, "I've tied him up and given him the treatment, and I've killed him." So the mindset that he must be in, like, you go into prison in your 20s, sometimes when you've got a young head on your shoulders, you haven't had the right role models in life or whatever, or you've had a bad upbringing, you might be a bit of a hothead. You go to prison, you haven't got nothing to lose, you're not arsed. But sometimes when you get into your 30s and you start maturing, you start looking back and you see things in a different light. You're in a different mindset. But Porky, because he's been in the jail since he was 22-year-old, he must be still stuck in that young man's mindset But a 52-year-old, you shouldn't be bothered about someone dissing you. You should be able to just fucking brush it off. But this man is an absolute lunatic, because I'll just tell you a few things that he's done. Obviously, down here, everyone hears of Charles Bronson. He's notorious for what he's done. But the things that Porky's done in prison outweighs everything that Charles Bronson's done, I'm telling you that. So, yeah, because like I just mentioned before, in 1997, he got an additional 6 years for holding a screw and a nurse hostage. In 2002, he got another 8 years on top of his sentence for assault and abduction, where he's took an inmate hostage. 2004, he got done for another assault on another inmate, which he's like really hurt him badly, getting 4 years for that on top. In 2005, he must have been getting escorted down to the block or something, because he stabbed a prison escort and he stabbed a senior jail official at Kilmarnock Prison, HMP Kilmarnock. But when he's been getting escorted, normally if you get a prison escort, it means one of the screws is escorting you to an outside hospital or something like that. But he must have just been getting escorted to another part of the prison. Maybe he's been getting put down the block, and the screws, the governor or the boss. I don't know if up in the Scottish jails they refer to them as the boss of the prison, because that's what it said, the boss of the prison. So he stabbed the prison escort in the guts, and then he stabbed the senior jail official, which was the boss of the prison. Don't know if that, like I say, I don't know if that's the governor. So obviously down in our prisons, the boss of the prison is the governor. You've got a few different governors, but you've got the top governor. So this is who he stabbed on the way down to the block, or wherever he was going when he was getting escorted. Then in 2019, he got done with an attempted murder at Glenochil at the same prison. They must have just kept him there when he committed his recent murder. And he stabbed a lad called, he slit the throat of Thomas Peacock. So they were in the gym training away, and he's come up behind him, slit his throat, and he's went to hospital, and he's survived. They've managed to save his life. But he did try and kill this Thomas, because he was said, I think he said in court, what a shame. When they turned around and said that they'd saved his life, he said, what a shame. So he was wanting to inflict death on him. He was trying to kill him. I'm not sure what sentence he got on top for that, but his sentences must be amounting up to quite a substantial amount. But then obviously in 2000, and I think it was last year or the year before, when he committed this recent murder, which he's just been given a 23-year life sentence for, which will make him, he's 52 now, he's just been given another 23 on top, which is 75. And I don't know what else he's got to serve off the other sentences. So the odds are he's never going to be released from prison, especially for what he's been doing, like stabbing prison officials, governors and nurses. He's definitely not going to be getting out for a long time. So yes, I think that's about it for that one. I think I've covered everything there. But like I say, down here, I've never heard of Porky, but I'd like to know off my Scottish subscribers, because I've got quite a few from up in Scotland. I would like to know your views and opinions on Porky. There's obviously you lot up there will know a lot more than what we know down here. Because like I've mentioned previously, I've never even heard of the fella up until someone sent us an email and said, could you do a story on him? But I'll leave that one there for now, people. But if anyone else has got any more stories that you would like us to cover, just drop us an email. If you go to the About section on this page, on my channel, drop us an email. Or if you would like to come on, sit in here in my studio or do a Zoom meeting with us, get in touch, because I'm looking to do more interviews with people that's been to prison, people that's come out and they haven't been back in for a while, and they would like to talk about, share their experiences of prison, or anyone that's nearly been to prison and they've come back from the brink of it. They've been using substances, alcohol, and they've been getting off their heads and they went down the wrong path and they've come back from it. If you would like to appear on my channel, give us a shout and we'll see what we can arrange. But if you do like the content, people, remember to like and subscribe. But if you hit that notification bell, you'll not miss another video. So I'll leave that one there now, people. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Peace out.